Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Part 24. In the previous video we wrapped up the first day of the trial, finally. It only took 1,000 years, and we began our second day of investigations. We're talking with old Jack Marshall? I think that's his name, it's something with a J, and we're trying to get into the evidence room. What's that? Why's it gotta be him look for? As you may have surmised, here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene? Yeehaw! That card you got there on your dang old chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. Crime scene's awaiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres? Okay, yeah. You want to play hardball? You want to play hardball? First things first, look at this. Sheriffs back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. They just shot him. Now the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. That's not a good thing. This is neither the Wild nor the West here. But that and this are two completely different things entirely. I guess so? Huh? I'm lost. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. That smell. Reminds me of Tejas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? Nah, not actually. I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this for my baby? Yeah, Miss Star with the second R. What's this? What's wrong? Filet steak lunch? I see. This is basically a proposal where I come from. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Okay. So you want to talk? Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask anything. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Alright, what's up? Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good ass, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little doggy. Poor guy, keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told me something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, might not look like it, but I just lost my fire for the job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? I wasn't murdering no one. Shut up, lady. Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. Is it actually a horse, though? There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take to machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli that sneak in next to your steak, you know? The Star told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago? Well, it was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. And that's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Star, aren't you? Well, that was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times that no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case? That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too. Sorry, but could you explain this whole transferal thing? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective supervision for 2 years, so we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? Burn it! It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. See now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed. Forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated again. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago? I know that maybe 2 of the machines in here. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, man, being a me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. Easiest ones to understand here are the security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. Wait, what? And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman are on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. That's the card reader by the door. Card reader leaves a record of every ID that passes through. Okay, 584, that's our buddy. We don't know who 49 is. Okay, 49 was in there twice. Who do you think the luckiest man alive is at 420? Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bampane, I can't show you more than that. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove the record is tied to the stabbing. Oh wait, that's not how you present stuff? I know how to play this game. I know how to play this game. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, that one that was on the ground in the old parking lot back there. Number on this is 584-2189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. So he was in there at 5:15. Look, the 4th number, it's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, it's only one of them dang cards in the world. So, when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. Wait, what did Officer Meekins say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. You asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing! Suddenly he pointed a knife at me! If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this old ID card record. Got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Sounds like a rootin' tootin' good idea, partner. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room. It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. I'll just be standing outside, though. Yeah. Ooh, it's a spooky ghost. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So is it true, what I heard? Righto, please, don't look like a selfish man. Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50, I'd give him $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out, literally. Yeah, it's true. So, Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50, even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day? But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so you're the boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. And then also, I need you to sign my paycheck. What did you give me? Oh, scene of the stabbing? Okay. Doesn't really help us that much. What's your ID, sir? Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Woohoo! What is it? That second number! It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? Second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? Ooh. Interesting. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Okay, so 8-7 is him, and that was at 4:40. Interesting. Now, let me look at the what's the autopsy report? The earliest possible death is at 4. Okay. Well, how's it going? So, Detective Gumshoe, your boss for the day? That's right, pal. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? Shut up, lady. They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, I am a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed and only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Well, I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint. Exactly, pal. The lock is for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. Oh. Who's the picture? So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the lockers is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, zap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Okay. I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee right now? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in our court today. I see. I guess this is what happens with what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. Ooh, maybe it's like an early case he worked on? That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. Do we know it was 2 years ago based on the, it being transferred? Tell me about SL9? Detective Gumshoe's note and that, Detective Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over yet, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Okay. That's the same thing. Found in Mr. Edgeworth's car, stabbed with Mr. Edgeworth's knife, huh? What would drive Chief Prosecutor Scott to do such a thing? Wait, I mean, sure, of course, someone else really did it. Someone who must have a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth. I mean, really, I feel like the grudge is probably more against Skye than if she's the one that was framed for it. Or, I mean, I guess they were trying to frame Edgeworth, and then she intervenes and takes the blame herself? Maybe that's what she's trying to do. But then that doesn't explain the the picture, right? Or no. I guess we don't actually have the picture of her showing the knife. Or that's only just shown in kind of like the cutscene. That's not technically like a real thing that exists. I'm just trying to think, like, if she's trying to frame herself to prevent Edgeworth from getting framed. I mean, I guess that's maybe something to do with what's going on here. Anything else worth presenting? You know anything about this blood? Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing. That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. Now you don't know anything? Detective, here's my attorney's badge. You show that to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show their police badge. And we've already seen this. Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence. Oh, yeah, I do remember. We've already seen this. There's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. It's later, dude. Tell me. Now, that was a bloody violent case. Violent? So it was a murder? A serial killing? A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight. Started the rumor mill. Rumors? About forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up at the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So, that switchblade knife? The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Well... So, let's get to peeping. This place is stuffed with evidence, stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. It won't open. You really think it would? Hey pal, our security's high-tech around here. Yo, it's the metal detector. And the fishing pole. Is the dog in the bag? Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry-looking fishing pole that is. Ah, it's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal, that's the metal detector. The one that led to the solving of that case out of Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like it was ages ago. And, I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it'll come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. And I'm guessing that references, because, like, this case is, like, done after the first however many games. I don't know. So I'm assuming that references something that happens in, like, the second game. That cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. You gotta look at their heart. Okay. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away with it. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Paint. And a saw. What the hell? What is a saw and paint doing here? Well, I was just redecorating. Since the dawn of time. True art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Alright. Oh, the birthplace of the Blue Badger. Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room? Okay. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Oh, there's blood. Oh, I didn't even notice the bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. It's apparently from The Case. The Case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. Take a closer look. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Well, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tub of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try and put it back into place. Oh, boy. Yo, we really are Zero Escape boys. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, we're looking for something kind of jaggedy. Huh? Whoa, wait. There we go. Okay, so it's not quite as hard as it. At first I thought it was like gonna be a... That doesn't fully fit. Really? That doesn't fit? That's not. Looking for kind of like a long piece. Yeah, that just didn't look big enough. Okay, we want something kind of gnarly looking. Right? Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Okay. Probably. It's one of these. Okay, now this piece. I mean this piece. Obviously. Now this... That's the wrong piece. That's the right piece. I know what I'm doing, okay? We're missing something. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in about 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I heard that a stab hole for some reason, and I was like, how the hell are you going to stab anything with a jar anyway? I kind of understand how it got broken. Okay, a piece is missing. A bloody piece. What's this? Blood? It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright, what if there are other bloodstains left in the room? Yeah, I know. I was going to do that later. Let's keep looking. Okay, you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are 2 more things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? Why does it seem a little unstable? Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprints. Detective Goodman's locker? Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, I mean, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Someone left a glove here, but only one glove. Ooh, SL9. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? Here you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know? You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Extremely thin. Hey, that must be important. Wrong button. I always forget about this part. You can see. There's 65. He's a demon, dude. I mean, I assume he's the bad guy in the case. Mike Meekins. Dick Gumshoe's only 30? I thought he was at least 40. Oh, what's, what was I gonna do? Yeah, I was gonna spray. Well, let's look at this first. The tag says SL911. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case. You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing. What's so confusing about that? Do you know how many other words sound like it? Bag, gag, nag, lag, zag. Zag? Is that a word? Do you challenge me? What are we playing, a word game now? Phoenix, you would not win in Scrabble. Get sprayed on, nerds. Yeah, it's blood. I knew it! This is someone's right handprint! What? What's the matter, detective? This locker is mine! Yours? Please! You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. At least not on purpose. I mean, maybe like incompetent investigation might lead to someone getting executed, but I mean, is that really my fault? Yes? Oh, okay. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. But you're a detective. Yes, look at it. This must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Gross. Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien? This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it in the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. Any like bloodstain leading way? Okay, seems like we're good. Well, got anything to say about the floor plan now, Mr. Detective? I'm gonna say one thing, I don't know a hell about what you talking about, boy. Hey, I guess you could spray on this side as well. A question, how do I do that? Anything on like the door? No? Ah! Get sprayed? So the blood had been kind of worn off a little bit. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out of the door. But if he came in? This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. It's an infinite bottle. What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow 50 bucks from the chief and... Where did you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plan. Also, give me that URL. Hey, pal, look at the time. Is there something you need to be doing? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon, and we gotta have some way to let you know that you found all the blood, so you don't just keep spraying around forever. We're not that mean. I'm gonna go give them my report for the day. It might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth they're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I'll probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Okey dokey, I will be leaving. Got anything to say? Do we know your ID number? Sheriff didn't play much faith in dang old evidence. Yep, just shoot him dead. Sure, back in the day, we didn't care about no dang old evidence. The only evidence we needed was evidence that their neck was broke after we hung them, or hanged them. Where am I going again? Guards, no, not guard station. Entrance? Underground parking lot. High prosecutor's office. Oh, what? Ah, I guess. My apologies. It's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. He's brooding. Okay, Edgeworth, we have to get this out of the way. Don't make the face, okay? We're gonna have a serious, real discussion. You're not allowed to make the face. Right? Yes, we are in agreement. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? I am, know where I'm going to eat tonight. Apparently a new French restaurant is opening near here. Oh god, dude, you can't make the face that early! It's just... yes, this looks very attractive. I can't wait to eat there. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Or Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing has really taken a toll on him. Oh, what's your ID number, perhaps? Oh, right! Yes, that's your name. I'd better check this now. As I was saying, what's this? A record of ID card usage. Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less? Yes, that's true. Why? Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The Chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Yeah, you probably want to get rid of that because it's probably going to be used to frame you. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. Dude, we got so much fucking evidence, dude. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. We got 3 whole pages, man. You ever seen a jar before? Right, please, I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. I mean, coffee's fine. I'll pass on the tea. Just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth told you no in a very polite manner. Whose side are you on, anyway? Maybe if I just show him the best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him. Had to give it a shot. Okay. You think anything about this blood? Think anything about this knife? I know, you've probably got a hold on some information already, right? Yes, that's my name. It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident? And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in? You're the man who revived the worst memory of my life. Figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, edgy boy. Why don't you just tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Can I spray you? Please, you know. I forgot the joke. I was gonna say something and then it just completely went out of my mind. And now I can't remember what I was gonna say. And you still don't want to talk about that? Okay, fine. You know what? What do you think about this photo? Okay. What about the shoe? This is important evidence. Blue Badger panel? Come on. You got something about that. Okay, fine. You know what? Okay, do you want to tell me about the King of the Prosecutor thing now? Alright, well, one last thing. And by one last thing, I mean 1 second to last thing. Right, please, I'm the prosecutor. Oh, come on, man. Alright, fine. Let's talk. So how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error due to the investigation. Concealing evidence? I mean, it sounds like they sided with you. Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. It's just, the expression just, it doesn't ever, like, it doesn't match what I think of with Edgeworth, and it doesn't match what he's saying half the time, which is what makes it so funny to me. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. I gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes, any further investigation of this case will be directed by the chief of police, Gant. Nothing but wait. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. Head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time. Okay, so he fucking murdered a bunch of people, got it. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too then? So maybe got someone to take the fall for his crimes, got Edgeworth on the case, convinced Edgeworth the guy was 100% guilty. Edgeworth decided to, you know, maybe mess around with the evidence to ensure a conviction, and that's how we got into this situation. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is, why was the deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't... Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? What's your favorite cereal? If you were still studying forensic science. Well, yeah, of course. Why, just say Mr. Wright and I were using this? Luminol testing fluid? Well then, you might have use for this. What? Are we dusting for fingerprints? Yes. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints? It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? You are the enemy, you know. I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, please stop being horny. No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks? How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Okay, so maybe we want to go back to the handprints? Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Okay. Anything else worth potentially presenting? You ever seen the screwdriver? Right. Please, I'm the prosecutor on this case, but like, doesn't it literally say... I don't know, that's the different screwdriver. I don't know why I was thinking the screwdriver was something taken elsewhere. I thought it was the screwdriver had something to do with SL9, but no, it's a completely different case. You want to play me in chess, buddy? Hey, a chessboard! I'm not too up on my chess. Same dialogue. Alrighty. Well, let's go back to the dang old evidence room where the evidence is stored in the room. Our investigations turned up a suspicious handprint. Here, this blood in the detective's evidence locker. Let's just borrow the secret weapon we just borrowed. Or let's use it. What about the other handprint? Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. Any finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. Let's choose the finger that will have left the clearest imprint. I can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. For $1, choose a finger. I mean... the thumb, it probably wouldn't have, like, had a good thumbprint. Let's go with the index. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Starting to get a sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder in. Is this like where you would maybe have used the touch screen to, like, scribble or something? Huh? How do you do that? With enter, see? Ah, it looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? Well, you know, you would have probably used the Nintendo DS mic or something, because we liked gimmicks back then, but you just hit the button this time. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, that looks like fun. It might take some time to get used to it, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. Oh, and if your microphone is broken, fuck you. You can't finish. Get a new Nintendo DS, you cheap fuck. Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I'd better give it a try. I mean, seriously, come on. You don't want to just buy another one because one little piece of equipment broke because it was falsely made? I don't... Oh, we're not dusted. I'm not salty. That didn't happen to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I guess it's not completely filled in. Oh, it's getting dusted. Have we dusted it too much? I feel like it's dusted too much. Are we done? Ah, you did it! You found one! This looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this fingerprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes in scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely. There are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Oh, yeah. I didn't really realize what that was supposed to be. Oh, get destroyed, nerd. Like you're putting cheese on a pizza. You have been dusted? You have been dusted? Unbelievable amounts of dust. A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. We're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? Your Honor, I found a fingerprint at the scene of the crime. Do you know who it is? No, but it's probably the guilty person, right? Oh, okay, that sounds good enough to me. Execute him. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person who you think left these prints. Huh? How is it to know who it is? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? I mean, it was Gumshoe's, right? Yes, go. Hair. Oh my god! This is off the frickin' chart! Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe! That doesn't help us. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to check, but you made me do this one first, so... How do I... activate the Powder of Doom? Do I have to, like, spray it again to make it show up? Where's the luminol? Okay. I guess you just examine the spot. This is where we got the luminol fluid reaction, right? Right! There was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this? Check for prints. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand? Well... Get dusted? Well, I don't know what that is. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this print. Let's try a different finger then. And where like the thumb would have been? Here on the... I mean, nothing's lighting up. Wait. Okay, this is a different spot. Ooh. I guess maybe the glove was torn. That's why they emphasized that it was very thin. Just spread it up. Give all the gorgonzola and the mozzarella on there. Come on, man. Okay, so... That's not Damon. Meekins. It looks like Meekins, but it's... Well, no, it looks like it's just like Jake. Get wrecked, nerd. Interesting. Hey, these fingerprints, they... Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? The print had been wiped. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. This is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. But we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a white bloodstain? But why would Officer Marshall... It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I've always wanted to use that word. I don't believe it. I don't know if I believe it either. I'm still on the Damon is evil train. And, I mean, there's feasible ways that could have been faked, right? Like, if they already knew that fingerprint was there, then, you know, half putting your hand on there to make it seem like it matches up is something you could have done. Like, you know, just putting the 3 other fingers in the approximate location to make that, you know, seem like a natural print, like as if the glove was torn or something. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And the different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Wait, what? A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret. I'm in as much in the dark about this as they are. Sky? You found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room? They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Semen. Just everywhere. He was fucking jacking it constantly. Bloodstained fingerprints to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? I mean, you know, we're not unaccustomed to accusing people time. You have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lena Sky, and we'll do that in the next video. We'll, you know, start the trial and see how things are going. God, this case is long as hell, man. I guess it's also because it's like, you know, since it's like a much more recently made case than any of the others, like the first 4 chapters, that it's like way more involved. There's like a lot of new extra mechanics, which I guess are also meant to like show off the DS stuff, you know, because like there's been way more like interactive investigation stuff, which is kind of cool, which I guess will also be kind of like maybe a bit of a backstep when we go to the next games, which I think we're still, I don't know how many, I think it was we're all 3 on the Game Boy Advance, or was it just like the first 2? I don't know. I'm very not familiar with the series. I don't even know how many games there are in it, but so I guess it will be kind of like a bit of a backstep when we do move on to the second game in the sense of like how involved this investigation is, but I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part, and bye guys.